Cameron Arnett is an award-winning actor in television, film, and theater, as well as a film producer, director, and syndicated talk show host. That is a huge, huge amount of things to do. And you play Thomas Hill in the new Kendrick Brothers film, Overcomer.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me a little bit about your character.
Wow, Thomas Hill is someone which we find in the film, and we would say that he's on his last leg. I mean, he's lived his life, and it hasn't been a good one, and he's created a lot of chaos in a lot of people's lives. But at a certain point in time, he found the truth in Christ, and it revolutionized his life. And even while you see him there and realize that there's almost nothing really going for him, but there's everything going for him, because on the inside he's a new man. And he has the opportunity to be a mentor to John Harrison, who comes in unexpectedly, by accident it seems, but we know that God orchestrates all things. And so he begins to tell John his identity needs to be in Christ. He gave his life to so many other things, and Tom is able to bring the understanding to him about that. It was just a great experience.
Well, you've done a lot of theater, film, television, media, some mainstream, some Christian.
Yes.
What does it mean to you to be involved in something that really aligns with your personal faith?
It's everything, because again, I think of when you take a look at actors, every year we talk about where are they now. We talk about how many have died this year, those kind of things. And when I look at that, it always makes me think there are so many actors that were good actors, great actors, and that we enjoyed, but then they were in films, and you think about, what did they leave behind? What do we have now? They're just people who were good actors. And when I look at the films that we do, it outlives us. We have an opportunity to seed and to plant and to give life to people even after we're gone. When we are, because it's a kingdom thing, when we're in heaven, we'll still be reaping the dividends of having lived a life that gave our lives to not career first, but using our gifts and our talents to proclaim Christ to people. And it continues to happen even while we're gone. I mean, when I think of that, it's just enormous. What a privilege.
You left LA to pursue media that involved your faith. Is that why?
No, I left LA actually to pursue God. What happened was that when I was in LA and I was doing extremely well, I did Miami Vice and Star Trek: The Next Generation and all kind of episodics. And I had gotten a movie of the week, and I was in Toronto, Canada. And my manager called me and said, they want to see you for this television role, for the leading role. And so after I finished the film, I come back to California, and I auditioned, opposite all these phenomenal actors. You're like, what am I doing here, right? And so I ended up getting the role.
Wow.
And it was going to be my first starring role, television series. The money is fantastic. All of the above, all the things that
the stars are aligned.
The stars are aligned, and it's you, right? And so they tell me that it's mine. And I'm about to sign on the dotted line, and my manager and I are just like, ecstatic. And then at the last minute, they say to me, oh, well, we want you to do partial body nudity. And I felt God tap me on the shoulder, it's time to get out the system. And so when I told my agent, told everybody, they said, well, you know what? We understand your faith and everything else, so we'll give you a body double. And so I thought it was great, I'm going to sign again. And God said, no, you have to shun even the appearance of evil. And so I dropped everything, and I lost everything. And I ended up bankrupt, the whole shebang, and left California, came to Atlanta, started 2 different churches, went into full-time ministry, never thought I'd be acting again. And in 2013, somebody was casting for a film, happened to be a Christian film, didn't know it, and I didn't want to go. For 2 weeks, God has given me this dream about this character, and I thought he wanted me to write, and it ended up being the character that was in the film. And he says, no, I want you to go to this one, and I auditioned, and I got it. And it was a Christian film, and I've been doing Christian films ever since.
Okay, so the big question, any regrets about that decision in LA?
Not one bit. There are things that happen in your life, of course, you would prefer not to have that. It's like, Jesus needed Judas, okay? So if there was another way, let this cup pass from me, but there was no other way. And so there are things that happened in my life that, of course, I wouldn't have liked for that to be. But as far as regret as to the relationship, regret to how things have turned out, and now that I'm using the gifts and the talents that he gave me to honor him, not one bit.
Wow.
All I went through was worth it. It was great. Yeah.
Amazing, and now we get to reap the benefits of your amazing talent.
Well, praise God, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to share your story.
Oh man, no problem. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.